So it's no big deal getting it exactly right. You know? Okay, got a little project for the night. We've been a little occupied, had some family business the last few days, had a death in the extended family. But we're back to work. Okay, here is tonight's project, which is basically to get the spacers on the front wheel sorted correctly. And I'm not just talking axle spacers, there's an issue with the disc as well. This is the new moto iron axle that was supplied, and I also have the new moto iron brake caliper. And this is all just kind of mocked in, and you can, the problem is the caliper is so close to the wheel it's actually hitting the spokes. So that's not going to work. So what I've got is I got a new 1/4 inch sprocket pulley spacer. The good news is lots of guys are putting, you know, fat rear tires on bikes, so there's millions of these spacers available. And the back sprocket bolt pattern is the same as the front brake disc bolt pattern, so we can use one of those. So anyway, that's what we're going to do. We're going to put that thing together. So I just kind of got this sitting here loose. Axle and little spacer there. This is just sitting here. Off it comes. I've already pulled this apart before, so normally these brake rotor bolts are a little tough, but I've already got them loose, so they'll come right off. So get these guys out of the way. One of the things that I won't get resolved tonight is I think if this 1/4 inch spacer is big enough, I'm going to probably need to get some longer bolts. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not going to Loctite it in tonight because I'll probably end up getting some longer bolts. These are the stock bolts. There's 7/8 of an inch of thread on these. I think I need bolts that are at least an inch. You can get, I think you can get these in 1.5, which would probably be too much. If I get those, I may cut them down to about 1 1/8. But in any case, this is all still just mock-up phase work. Did I mention my lovely daughter Mary is holding the phone tonight? So anyway, here's our lovely new Drag Specialties spacer. Haven't measured it, but at a glance it looks like it's a 1/4 inch thick. That ought to work. This was more of a shim than a spacer. This thing was stock. I'm going to leave that on the outside of the new spacer. Everything seems to be lining up. Lovely. And the good news is these bolts are not quite self-centering, but they're close, so we don't have to worry too much about centering the rotor. The heads of these bolts is almost a perfect fit to the little opening that's machined out on the rotor. So yeah, I mean, just looking at this, we're definitely going to want longer bolts. And here's the way you check. You look at that, you just drop that in. You need at least, I'd like to say, whatever the diameter of the bolt is, you want at least 1.5 times that sticking out when you start it. We don't have that much, so these will be fine for mock-up purposes, but we're going to have to get new ones before it's all said and done. So I'm just going to snug these down. I'm just going to put just a little snug on them just to make sure that everything's where it's going to be. I'm not putting final torque on these at all. Okay, so that's done. Now, just hang the caliper on here. I think I can already tell we're good. without the new spacer, it didn't miss by much. So now you can see the caliper on its bracket rotates freely, so that spacer is going to work. Okay. Perfect. These spacers that I got in the catalog, they come in, I think there was a 16th, an 1/8, and I went ahead and got a 1/4. Looking at this, probably an 1/8 would have been enough. It would have been snug, but I think the 1/4 is exactly what I wanted. It looks perfect to me. So that is that. We'll wrap it here, unless you want to sit here and watch me trial fit pieces of PVC plastic for the next hour and a half, trying to get the wheel spacings done. So show them Duke.
That's my dog.
That's my dog.
He's my dog too.
It's my dog. All right. Thank you.
I fell over.
And thanks to the miracle of connecting videos together, all of a sudden we're all done. Everything's all set. Got the front wheel on. Got it perfectly centered in the forks. Got the PVC spacers mocked up on both sides. I was a little worried that the one on this side was going to be kind of laughably long, but I think it's fine. I think it's going to work. Wheel turns, no interference, nothing hits that isn't supposed to. Everything that is supposed to hit, hits. You know, bolts are clearing the caliper bracket. This arm with the heim joints that holds the bracket in place is clearing the forks comfortably. So everything seems to be working out just fine. So all that's left on this stuff, got to get those longer bolts, pull it apart, get the longer bolts on, get those spacers measured up and turned out of, you know, actual spacer stock, and that's pretty much it for the front end assembly. Everything's all set. All right, that's it. Update soon.